I'm Tom, and we are going to see Fabio Wardley fighting Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker taking on Fabio Wardley, and that is a colossal step up for Fabio Wardley. And I like it. I really like it. But let's, as I say, absolutely have it right. This is a massive step up for Fabio Wardley. He's gone from fighting for the British title, and then Justice Honey, to fighting who is perhaps number 2. I have him as number 3 in their heavyweight division. He's fighting the 3rd best heavyweight in my opinion, the 2nd best heavyweight in a lot of people's opinions, fighting him. That is massive. That's a colossal step up. Is he ready for it? That's why this is so interesting. This is a really interesting fight because ultimately we don't know, but we're going to find out. How he got this off the back of the Honey performance, I'll never know. Fair play to Frank Warren and his team, because getting this off the back of getting beaten around the ring by Justice Honey every round, and then getting a stoppage which was controversial and in my opinion was an early count, to then walk into the, not rematching him, but to then walk into the Joseph Parker fight. I thought he should rematch Justice Honey because look, he was losing that fight quite comfortably. He lost every round. And I do think that was an early count. If that was anyone else, that wouldn't have been stopped. I think he gets up, he beats the count. Look, would he have beaten the round? Would Fabio have stopped him? I don't know. I don't know. But I would have liked to have found out. Ultimately, what happened was he was losing that fight quite comfortably and he pulled a stoppage victory out of the bag. It was very, very Deontay Wilder-esque. But to go from that to this is crazy. And if I'm Joseph Parker, I'm happy. Because if you're Joseph Parker, you're potentially fighting for a world title now, because there's every chance Usyk has to vacate the belt. And if Usyk has to vacate the belt, this will then fall to Joseph Parker to either be leveled up, upgraded, promoted to their actual champion, or he'll fight the next person for the belt. In this case, Fabio Wardley. So there's every opportunity, there's every chance that this fight is to become a 2-time world champion. And you're fighting not Moses Itauma, who a lot of people thought you'd have to fight, you're fighting Fabio Wardley. I know who I'd rather fight, and it's not Moses Itauma. I'll put it that way. So from his point of view, there was also rumours about you fighting Dave Allen. So you've gone from fighting Dave Allen in a keep busy fight to potentially fighting Fabio Wardley to become 2-time champion of the world. And even if he doesn't, that's a much better keep busy and proving your pedigree fight to then go into the Usyk matchup with. So if I'm Joseph Parker, I'm pretty happy because he's a big puncher. You fought that against Zhang, you fought that against Piccoli, you fought that against Wilder, so you're used to that. He's not he's not an amazing boxer, but he's a big name, so you're gonna get some money. And you're dethroning someone again to then go into the Usyk fight. And as for the fight, I do like it. I think it's an exciting fight. I think it gives Parker the opportunity to show off his ability and show his skill. That he's not as good a mover as a Justice Honey, but he should be, and he is, a level above him in terms of boxing ability. So it gives him the opportunity to show his boxing ability. As I say, as he's not such a good mover, we might get these sort of firefights more often, which means Wardley probably has more of a chance of catching Parker and might even drop him a couple of times. Look, we've seen Parker drop a few times. He gets up, dusts himself down and proves he's got a very good chin. But, well, recovery power at least. But we've seen him be dropped. And he's not as elusive as Justice Honey. So we might see these firefights, these exchanges being engaged in more frequently, which ultimately will mean we're going to see more of an exciting fight. Wardley have more opportunity, whilst Parker can show off his capability and really outclass Wardley and give himself, look, I just did that to Fabio Wardley. Give me Usyk. I'll show you what I can do against him. That's what this provides. Parker should ultimately be a level above Fabio Wardley, regardless of how highly you rate Fabio Wardley. If he can do that against Justice Honey, look, I know Fabio Wardley says that wasn't his best performance. I believe that wasn't his best performance. But if you can do that against him, no matter how good your performance is, Joseph Parker should be a level above. And what that then would mean is it sorts the issue. There's an issue at the moment where you've got Fabio Wardley and Moses Itauma boxing from the same gym. Boxing from the Ben Davies gym. And what that means is they, who potentially could go on to be champions of the world, won't fight each other. It could be another AJ Fury situation where you've got 2 British champions that are fantastic that won't fight each other because they're from the same stable and the same gym. And that creates rifts, issues amongst boxing. If you go and knock down Fabio Wardley now, which Frank won't mind because Frank's got Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. So if Frank's fighter Joseph Parker beats Fabio Wardley, I got Joseph Parker. If Frank's fighter Fabio Wardley beats Joseph Parker, well, I got Fabio Wardley. So for him, it's a win-win. But it also frees up the space for Moses Itauma to go and clear the rest of the division when the time comes that Usyk vacates the belts. Now, as I say, the winner of this fight really should either be elevated to full champ if Parker isn't beforehand, or as in like this, basically they should be fighting for a belt if Parker's not elevated beforehand, or get that well-deserved shot against Usyk. Well-deserved, assuming it's Parker. I mean, even well-deserved if it's Wardley because he beat Parker, fair enough, against Usyk. That's what should be happening. The winner of this, one way or another, by hook or by crook, should be elevated to a champion or given that shot. That's what should be next, is the belt or the fight for the belt. And I'm glad that Parker isn't waiting. Parker absolutely could sit this out. I'm going to wait to see what's the decision with the belt. Am I going to get given it? Is Usyk going to have to fight me? Let's see what this whole debacle is, especially around that dance footage, which is crazy, but whatever. Especially around all that. Could have sat it out and waited, but ultimately he's decided he wants to keep active. His last fight was a 2-round easy demolition job against Piccoli. And that's basically it for a very long time. I want to go in there, be active, give me a fight. Dave Allen, no, I want a bit of step up from that. Fabio Wardley, that'll do. And I like that. The question now, my question is, now that Wardley's at the top, do we see a Wilder situation? For years, we saw Wilder getting outclassed in the ring, getting like losing fights, but you always knew, bang, that right hand's going to connect, put you to sleep, he's going to win. Then he stepped up. And this is the thing, this is why I don't rate Fury's Wilder wins that highly. Because he stepped up, and the first time he stepped up was to Fury, he lost. Okay, he drew, he lost. Then he fought Parker, lost. Zhang, lost. Every time he stepped up, he's lost. We've seen Wardley step up to Justice Honey, and yes, he pulled it out of the bag fantastically. For Fraser Clark knockout, unbelievable knockout. Is he now going to step up to somebody of Joseph Parker's caliber and fold the same way we saw Wilder do? Or is he going to step up and somehow pull it out of the bag? That's what we're going to know. We're going to find out. But ultimately, I'm glad that Parker is remaining active. Well, not, he's becoming to be active again. And that is what Fabio Wardley has here. He's been more active over Joseph Parker. Look, initially, I think Parker wins on stoppage. Don't think Parker knocks him clean out the way we see Wardley do it to people. But I think it'll be an accumulation over rounds. Parker will just outclass him, tire him out, be teeing off. Wardley won't have the answers, and eventually we'll see him stopped. People, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe. You know how this stuff works, people. Peace.